Good evening, Weartesters. Duke 4005 back with another performance review. This time we got another running shoe. Told you, got crazy in Austin. So I'm still reaping the benefits of that little visit. This time I've got a shoe from a company that I'm really excited about this past year. Started off a little bit shaky with the first edition they sent me. And then this summer they made some additions to their management team. Hired some VPs and executives from another top running company, and they've revamped their line and come back strong. The company I'm talking about is of course 361, and the shoe I'm talking about is the Strata. Now if you read my review on the 361 Spire back last year, right towards the end of the year, you know I fell in love with the cushioning and the fit of that shoe. Let's see what the Strata does. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over is traction. And traction on a running shoe is really a unique subject. I know I've covered it before, but the biggest thing I look for is wet roads, does the shoe get slick, and how long does the outsole last? Well, I can tell you on wet roads, this shoe performed great. You've got this, they call it stable rebound instead of blow molded EVA in the front, and it's really just kind of a softer cushioning element which would wear out really fast if it wasn't for these high wear abrasion rubber areas on the outside and then on the back here. It's got the little branding right here, 361. It's not the name of the rubber like some of them put out there, the Continental rubber or the Adiwear or something like that that you see on an Adidas shoe, or the XDR that you see on a Nike. But it is a high abrasive rubber, long wearing in the high impact areas around here on the heel. You do again have this stable rebound foam in the heel right here, and it just ties into the whole cushioning system. So wet roads, this shoe did great. Gravelly roads again did great. One of the things that really helps on the traction are these 4-foot flex screws right here, and it's one of the greatest things ever in a running shoe is when they put these deep flex screws. It just allows the foot to really dig into the pavement and the shoe to really dig in and give you that little bit of extra bite on push off. I know some of you may not run much sprint work, but it really does perform like a track spike in that regard. Not really digging into a track per se, but it gives you a little extra dig with your foot where you can push off a little bit. Moving up next, right straight to the midsole and into the cushioning. This is my absolute favorite part of the shoe. You've got the quick foam and the QDP system in the midsole. Quick foam is a high rebound, dense foam encased in a CPU, not TPU, CPU casing in the midsole, and it just gives it a little bit of extra bounce. The closest thing, honestly, that I could really compare this to is going to be a Micro G, and like the bounce midsole I found in the D-Lillard 2 basketball. It's just a really, really stable foam and really uniform feeling from front to back because it runs the full length of the shoe all the way through. And if you haven't tried it out yet, you need to try it. The quick foam is, for a company to be this new and be this good this quick, is just really surprising to me and promises of the future. Now the QDP system is the top to bottom cushioning system, a vertically integrated cushioning system, and it begins with the insole and goes down to the quick foam in the midsole and then comes into the frame into the bottom, and using this stable rebound EVA and the bounce back provided by it on the impact. Now when you see the insole, you're going to notice it looks very familiar to another material that we've seen on an insole. I'm not saying anything about that it is, I'm not saying it isn't. All I'm saying is it feels the exact same as that other insole that's this same color. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch some more of our reviews. But cushioning on this shoe, again, great impact protection, very springy back into your next step. I won't say energy return because that's kind of a misnomer to me, but it feels great from first mile to last. I would put this on par with any other foam cushioning out there, just short of Adidas Boost. Okay, the materials on the Strata are pretty much normal running shoe materials. You've got this open mesh around the toe and around the midfoot area here. It's a little bit more closed off in the central saddle right here of the midfoot, just to give you a little more support on that side. And in the heel, you've got a thick memory foam ankle collar that just wraps that Achilles perfectly with no heel slip whatsoever. You do have an exposed heel counter right here that I think just looks, the geometric shapes of it just look great on this shoe. I like how they shattered it in. It is transparent. You can see the material under it, but being transparent on the black, you can't tell it just looks black. The tongue is, again, the tight woven mesh like you find on the side panels, but the breathability in this shoe is fantastic. And you can see again that look again at the toe, how they dual layered it. You would think that would add a little bit of heat to the shoe, but really it didn't. This shoe is just on par with ventilation of any other running shoe out there, minus the Climacool Nike Freeze, the ultralights. If you're looking for a stability shoe, the materials on this are on par with anything else you can get on the market. Okay, now we'll get into fit, and fit on this shoe is true to size, which I had a little bit of a problem last summer when I reviewed the first shoe for 361. It was a little bit, about a half size short, just a little bit short, not enough to really recommend sizing up, but my toe was just right there on the end where after a long run your feet are kind of swollen and you can feel it rubbing and kind of irritating. So when I reviewed the Spire, I asked for a 10.5 in that shoe and an 11, and they've done something to the sizing, and the 10.5 fits perfectly in that shoe and it fits perfectly in this shoe. You can see it's got a little bit of a wider cut here around the ball of the foot, which is very reminiscent of Asics and New Balance, the known running brands, and it works. There's a reason they do that. It works. When you get so far into that run, you want that little bit of extra space in this area just to let your foot expand. However, it's not going to expand too much because they've put these welded webs over the stress areas, so you're still going to get that good fit. The midfoot, again, these tighter woven mesh panels really lock your foot in, and they've got the overlays welded on too. There's no slipping whatsoever in this shoe. The heel, we talked about the padding in the heel. Okay, now as far as support, this is a stability shoe. The Spire is their neutral running shoe. Strata is the update, and it's the stability. And mainly it's the stability just because it has this little bit of an extra bar in the middle. The Spire did have this same bar, but it did not come up into the midfoot like the Strata does. And although it's not much, it does provide a noticeable push on pronators. If you step in and you happen to roll in, it's going to hold you back out. And I do roll in. I am a pronator. Years of basketball, I've got my ankles just completely shot and blown. So when I walk, I tend to have duck feet. They turn in on my ankles pretty good. This shoe pushes it right back out, but not enough that it's a strain on my feet at all. It just pushes it out just enough where I get in that next step smooth and comfortably. The rest of the shoe, again, the stability depends on the lacing system and these panels in the front, and again the fit is just fantastic on this shoe. So if you're looking for a good stability shoe with good fit and great cushioning, well, look, I don't know what else you need. This shoe has. Okay, so that wraps us up for the 361 Strata. Priced at $140. It's very competitive as far as the more known running lines that are out there. I believe your Asics Kayano is pushing $180 now, I think. You've got some New Balance in that same general area, and the Strata performs just as good or better than most of those. If you're looking for a highly cushioned shoe with just a little bit of a stability help here with this roll bar, not actually a structured stability shoe like a Brooks Beast, then look no further than the Strata. The fit is fantastic. Materials are very forgiving to your foot and very comfortable, and I could not be more excited about what this company is doing. Also, in the future, be on the lookout. They've got a new low-top basketball shoe coming out that I'm looking forward to reviewing on that note. And it's the QDP, the Quick Foam. Everything they're doing right now is about quality and about comfort and about performance. Again, thank you 361. Looking forward to great things in the future. I see it nothing to do but just go up. Coming up next, I've got the review on the UA Architect, the 3D printed midsole shoe, and also the Peak DH1. So stay tuned for that. Weartesters, I'm out. Good evening, Weartesters. Duke 4005 back with another performance review. This time we got another running shoe. Told you, got crazy in Austin. So I'm still reaping the benefits of that little visit. This time I've got a shoe from a company that I'm really excited about this past year. Started off a little bit shaky with the first edition they sent me, and then this summer they made some additions to their management team, hired some VPs and executives from another top running company, and they've revamped their line and come back strong. The company I'm talking about is, of course, 361, and the shoe I'm talking about is the Strata. Now, if you read my review on the 361 Spire back last year, right towards the end of the year, you know I fell in love with the cushioning and the fit of that shoe. Let's see what the Strata does. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over is traction. And the traction on a running shoe is really a unique